Good morning, friends. I'm your friend Kumar again. You have seen my previous session. You have understood. I hope you have understood what is the architecture. Today, I'll discuss about components of SAP HANA. As I promised with all of you, I'll discuss about software components of SAP HANA in detail. So today, I will discuss it. I'll also discuss SAP HANA in memory technology. You know, everybody talk about SAP's in-memory technology. So what is exactly in-memory technology? Now, data layout in main memory. I have discussed little bit about data representation technique, that is row store and column store in my previous session. So if you are not aware of that, so I request all of you to please visit my previous session and look at the storage technique which SAP HANA uses. Now, today I'll show you how actually data gets represented in column store, how data gets converted into column store, and I'll also talk about partitioning. So, what kind of partitioning SAP supports, SAP HANA supports, and concept of accessing data without index. So, currently we are accessing data based on our index. So we know that we have table index, primary index, and secondary index. But SAP HANA, we do not have any secondary index like that. So how we access, how SAP HANA access those records without any index. So I'll show you. Practically, I will show you. Practically, I will show you how data compression works and what are the types of compression SAP HANA uses. So, guys, again, if you have any questions, please ask me after this session. In between, I won't be able to answer questions because it will take again a lot of time to answer your questions. And my objective is to cover this topic today. So let's start. So let's move to next slide and see what we have seen earlier. So this is the picture of software components of SAP HANA. So you can see in this picture, there are SAP clients, there are SAP HANA systems, they are connected to data replication software, they are connected to SAP support, they are connected to SAP service marketplace. So I'll discuss each and every topic one by one, and I'll show you what are the use of these SAP clients and how we access. So before moving, let's talk about what are the software components of SAP HANA. So if I look at this slide, broadly SAP HANA is divided into four major parts. So based on this, we have a core components, we have a software for data replication, we have software for direct access, and lifecycle management concept components. So I'll go one by one and I'll try to make you understand what are the software and what are the uses of these software. This is the theory part, but being a HANA developer, HANA architect, you should know what are the systems, what are the approach we have available to access SAP HANA, and what other teams are doing with SAP HANA. So I'll give you little bit idea about it, not in a more detail, but definitely it will be helpful for all of you. So as you can see in my previous slide, so core component is SAP HANA database. Obviously, we are talking about SAP HANA. It means we are talking about SAP HANA database. So how we access that SAP HANA database? Through HANA Studio. So I'll talk about HANA database, HANA Studio, and SAP HANA client with all the function libraries available with core components. So after that, I'll show you what are the software available for data replication, and consequently I'll show you all the topics. I'll discuss all the topics one by one. So let's see core component first. So core component is main component of SAP HANA is SAP HANA database. We know that. So this is nothing new concept in SAP HANA database. It's a old RDBMS concept what we have. So, but in contrast to other RDBMS, what exactly with SAP HANA? This is our objective to learn. So in SAP HANA, we know that we have a column store. So no matter where data is being saved, whether in a main memory, whether in a secondary memory or hard drive, but how data is getting represented in memory. So I'll see that in next discussion. But what is the difference between SAP HANA database and the traditional database? So in contrast to other database, SAP HANA can place all relevant business data in main memory, isn't it? All relevant business data in main memory. It can combine row, column, and object-based database technologies. So, as I said, I'll discuss how column store works because we have worked with row store from past. We are working with row store only. So, I'll discuss about how column store works, how SAP HANA transforms data into column store, and how actually it saves data into column store. In my previous session, I have shown you how row store stores data and how column store stores data. So I understand that you have some idea and you have knowledge what are the differences, what are the drawbacks with row store and what are the drawbacks with column store, and you know that. Today I'll show you how SAP represent this data in main memory, how multi-core CPU multi-core CPU architecture works, and how it is helpful for SAP HANA database. Now, second is our HANA Studio. HANA Studio is actually, you can say, um, it's a development environment. Currently, what we are using for our development, we are using SAP GUI, graphical user interface, which is installed in our system, our laptop, through which we access our application server. But in future, SAP GUI will not be the part of development tool. In future, we are going to move on SAP HANA Studio, which is Eclipse based solution provided by Eclipse. SAP is a strategic partner with SAP Eclipse, and through which we access our SAP HANA database, and through HANA Studio I'll show you how to access HANA DB, which is possible only with HANA Studio or Eclipse. We cannot demonstrate I cannot demonstrate SQL script through GUI. I'll have to move to HANA Studio. So we will look at all these things in my subsequent session. So SAP HANA Studio provides a ABAP development tool, that is ADT for SAP. This is not only the facility or features provided by the SAP HANA Studio. Other following deployment which is mentioned at the bottom of the slide is that is also based on Eclipse, that is SAP NetWeaver Developer Studio, which is Java based. SAP Eclipse tool for SAP HANA Cloud platform. If you want to access your SAP HANA through cloud, so we have a, again Eclipse tool for that. SAP UI development tool for HTML5 if you want to develop any user interface. So in which JavaScript and HTML5s are in use, and SAP Native Gateway plugin for Eclipse. These are again four different areas of SAP which can be used with SAP HANA Studio. So for us as an developer, HANA Eclipse Studio plays a major role, and only over the SAP HANA Studio or Eclipse we can develop our CDS views, we can access HANA DB directly, we can do our coding at the, you can say, database console directly. So let's see other core components. Moreover, SAP HANA Studio can be very useful for basis team as well, because basis team can start stop database services through SAP HANA Studio. So monitoring the systems can be done through HANA Studio. They can also create user specifying system settings, so authorizations, configurations, all everything whatever basis team does can be done through SAP HANA Studio as well. So not only ABAP, you can see basis team, our admin team can also use SAP HANA Studio for their authorization or stopping services. So in database level, so can use HANA Studio. Now HANA client. So what is HANA client? HANA client by which we access our HANA database. There are multiple mediums by which you can access your HANA DB. For example, you can access your HANA DB through web application. You access your HANA DB through SAP, ABAP development tool. You access your HANA DB through BW system. You access your HANA DB through multiple mediums. So this is not the only way. There is not only one way by which you can access your HANA DB. There are multiple ways. So we will discuss what are those clients which can access HANA DB, and what kind of protocol they use, what kind of network protocols they use for accessing HANA DB. So I have represented the HANA client and its connectivity in form of diagram. So I understand that diagram is very much helpful for understanding technologies. So let's move to diagram and see what are the clients. So as you can see, I have just created one very high level diagram in which you can see what are the core components of SAP software, uh, and what are the clients which access our HANA system. I've also provided the full form of all the name what I have used in yellow color. So SAP, as I said, SAP HANA Studio. SAP HANA Studio is a uh, developed on Java. So SAP HANA, there are two things which we need to understand. First, connectivity is required. You need to connect your SAP HANA Studio or Eclipse to application server, isn't it? So what kind of connectivity? There is two type of two connection required. First is, first we have to connect our HANA Studio into HANA Studio with application server. So this is based on Java development, and Java database connectivity comes into picture. And same as you know, our application server ABAP internally we use our GUI, and we connect with application server. So connection which is used with our GUI and our application server, that is DSBL, database shared libraries, SQL DBC. So SQL database connectivity, so it's embedded with DSBL is embedded with SQL DBC, through which we connect with our application server. Another, we have a BI client which is connected with the ODBO client. So ODBO, I have provided you full form. ODBO is OLE database for OLAP. OLE stand for Object Linking and Enabling Database. For OLAP, OLAP is again online analysis, which BW uses OLAP process. So, and as I said earlier, we have a like a browser, we have a mobile device, and it uses HTTP client, so through which we connect with our HANA database, that is HTTP. So we get connected with like HANA Studio with JDBC client, application server ABAP with SQL DBC, BI client with ODBO client, and browser and mobile with HTTP client. But what query, when we write any query, so like when we develop any program in HANA Studio or in ABAP, so what language, what we use, we use SQL. In BI client, what language we use? MDX. MDX is multi-dimensional expression. It's a language for reading multi-dimensional data like cubes, like our views, attribute views or calculation views, or analytical views. So MDX used with reading those cubes. And we know that browser work with HTTP, hypertext transfer protocol. So through which we access our mobile device, or um, mobile devices are connected with the HTTP client, and we use language hypertext transfer protocol. And REST is like I provided a representational state transfer, which is also used with connectivity with the SAP HANA database. So these are the clients which gets connected with HANA DB, and language I have provided like SQL, MDX, HTTP, REST, which is used to perform our development works, you can say, and through which you can say get connected with SAP HANA DB. So being a wrapper, I think you should know what language we use when we get connected with the database. So that's why I have provided SQL, MDX, HTTP. So I think it will be helpful for you to understand. Now, last one was SAP HANA function libraries. So if HANA functional libraries are libraries, you can say, which is developed on C++, and it is used for, you can say, business function, standard business functions, predictive analysis. So uh, this is like I can show you how we use AFL functions libraries in our programming. So these are the standard function libraries provided by SAP HANA, not at the time of installation. You need to install it separately into your system. HANA hardware provider provides it, but you need to approach them separately for AFL, and then only it will be available with your system after installing by the basis team. Now we have another topic, software for data replication. So if you move in my previous way. So you can see software for data replication, that is our second options in HANA software components. So what are the softwares for data replication? So I think you understand what does it mean data replication. Data replication simply means replicating data from multiple source into our target system. So SAP HANA uses three replication process, which is SAP LT. You have heard about it, SAP LT, and another is SAP HANA Data Service, SAP Data Service, and DXC, Direct Extractor Connection. So SAP LT, these it depends on scenario, situation, what kind of replication process you want to use. Completely depend upon uses scenario. So first two can be used with SAP and non-SAP system, but DXC can use only with SAP to SAP data transformation. So SAP LT, SAP LT is very old tool with SAP HANA, which is very powerful, which replicate data into target system, and almost replication of data in target system is almost real time. So another, if you have a very complicated structure of data, in that situation SAP LT is not helpful. In that situation you will have to move into SAP data service. So SAP data service uses ETL based extract, transform, and load technique. So this is the again very powerful tool for transferring data from um, source to destination. And as I said, first two can be homogeneous data and heterogeneous data base. So as you know, what happens in ETL, it means extract extract data from the source system. After extracting data, we transform it in a way by which target system will receive my data. There might be possible, there might be situation in a source system we have a 10 column, but in a like target system we have a 5 column. So kind of transformation, so transformation we do, and then we move after transforming data into the you can say required data format in a destination system, we load it. So this is the very this tool is used when very complicated data structure we have. And actually these are the you can say work of SAP basis team. So we should know only what are the process by which SAP team works and how data gets replicated into SAP HANA system. Now direct extractor connection. This is direct extractor connection, which is used to, as I said, transform data, replicate data from SAP to SAP system only. So what basis team does, SAP basis team creates a RFC connection directly with the source system and start uploading data into target system. This is a high level process. This is not as simple as I am talking. It's a very complicated process, but our objective is not to understand what are the direct extractor connection and SAP data service. For an developer, this is enough to know that we have three process by which our admin team, basis team can load data into SAP HANA system depending upon the uses and the scenarios. Okay, so let's move to next slide. Software for direct access. We know that we today we HANA can be accessed through our mobile device, through user interface. So mm as you can say, we have a direct access analytical models in SAP HANA. Like for example, if you want to access your HANA DB through MS Excel for reporting purpose, so you can use HANA DB client package for MS Excel, which is provided by SAP, and it use ODBO client internally, and MDX language, as I said, MDX language is used to access SAP HANA DB. So uh, software HANA database can be accessed directly by the MS Excel, Microsoft Excel, through ODBO client, and language which is used with ODBO client is MDX, multi-dimensional expression language, can be used to SAP HANA database. You can use HANA UI, SAP HANA UI for information access. You can access your data models, anything, whatever available with your HANA database, and you can expose your data into um, client, over the client, you can say. So, and finally, we have a HANA Information Composer provides alternative method for creating simple analytical views based on imported external data. But this is required Java application server, separate Java application server. So this is not in our scope. So I think we should move to next slide, life cycle management component. So again, this is a basis part, which basis take cares of these things. But we should know, like uh, what are like life cycle management components. So instead of reading this, let me show you in picture. Uh, in first picture, you can see you have a SAP support here. You have a SAP marketplace here. So you have a solution manager here. So and you have a SAP solution software update manager, and this is the host agent. So what it discuss about life cycle management is uh, it uh, it it has three part, like SAP HANA host agent, software update manager, and SAP solution manager. So what exactly does SAP solution manager, SAP software update? So what actually happens, each SAP HANA host runs on SAP host agent. So because of that, it is possible to monitor individual host or their instances. So this information is made available for central monitoring via web services. So this again, as I said, this is a basis part. So actually, when any kind of update, you must have heard about in your organization that update is going on. So using software update manager, what the basis team does, basis team downloads the required support pack from the SAP, and automatically install the new support pack for the installed component if it is required. In case of errors, SAP basis team runs analysis tools, or you can say root cause analysis, or early watch alert, and I've mentioned it. In case of errors, basis can run analysis by setting up connection between your HANA installation and the SAP support that provides restricted access to your system through SAP routers. So using diagnostic agent on the SAP HANA appliances, SAP Solution Manager provides option for technical monitoring of SAP HANA system. So after uh, knowing the issues or error, SAP basis team resolve it with the help of SAP if needed, and uh, you can say it's a part of basis as I said. So in case of errors, early watch reports, basis team reviews it and find out the root cause analysis and all. So now our objective is to learn what is HANA in memory technology. This is very interesting topic. What is in memory technology? You must have heard about in memory. HANA uses an in memory technology. So today I'll discuss about in memory. What is exactly? So what happens in recent years? We have seen that hardwares are changing, and it is impacting whole world, not only SAP world but whole world, because uh, initially what was thinking of the hardware manufacturer was that if um, retrieval process, if they want to increase retrieval process or processing speed, if they want to improve processing speed, they used to increase clock speed of CPU. So finally, after some time, they understand that okay, only um, increasing the clock speed will not help to mm, you can say improve the performance of reading data or processing data. So instead of further increasing the clock speed per CPU core, the number of CPU core per CPU was increased, and we know that low price of main memory, that is RAM, have led to increase the memory size. Because of low price, today memory size can be increased. So it was the hardware innovation. It was the hardware innovation, and to benefit this hardware innovation, SAP was working closely with hardware manufacturers, and finally SAP came with SAP HANA DB, which runs only on um, hardware certified by the SAP. I have also mentioned what are the product availability metrics in my previous session. So if you are willing to know, you can move to my previous session and you can check out what are the hardware required for SAP HANA. If you belong to basis team, that is also helpful for, this is actually for basis team if they are willing to know what kind of hardware required. Now, I'll talk about software innovation. HANA provides software innovation to optimize in the following areas. So, I was always talking about data layout in main memory. I'll show you how data is represented in main memory. You have seen in my previous session how column store stores data in a main memory, but that is not the actual uh, mm, you can say data which SAP HANA saves in main memory. It gets converted. So I'll show you how and what by which logic SAP transform this data into you can say different code, and then it stores in a column. So I'll show you in my session, and I'll show you what is compression technique. How actually we know that HANA is very data can be compressed. So how SAP HANA compress data? I'll show you that also in a practical way how data compression works, and partitioning. So I'll talk about partitioning also. So we have two kind of partitioning, vertical partitioning and horizontal partitioning. So SAP HANA supports only horizontal partitioning. So I'll talk about that as well. So now let's move and see data layout in main memory. Data layout in main memory. In every relational database, as I said earlier, data has to be saved, whether in a main memory or in a traditional approach using physical medium. So it has to be stored somewhere, no matter where it is stored. But by which form? By which format? So traditional database stores only raw format, but HANA stores in a row format as well as in column format. So I have discussed in detail what is row format, what is column format in my previous session. I have provided you link. I would request all of you to move that link and see how SAP HANA stores data in a column format and row format. What are the advantages? What are the disadvantages? In this session, I'll discuss about how column stores data, how SAP HANA converts original data into a coding and then store in a column format. Then I'll show you how any data, for example, name, for example, if I name SAP HANA, so it gets converted into some format by encoding process. So I'll show you that encoding process, how SAP converts it and how it stores. So if you look at my previous session, you will have little bit idea about SAP column store and row store. And in this session, you will understand what exactly happens at the database level when we store. So just to give you a little bit idea, what I have discussed in my previous session, I have shared in my previous session. This is the row store. This is the row store process. You can see how row store stores data, and this is the column store. So how column store stores data. But in actual, you can see, for example, column store, you can see 5 CD XP is a material number. Uh, but in actual, SAP stores in it in a form of numeric value. How numeric value comes in that place? So I'll show you that how it converts character data into numeric, because CPU expect and process numeric data faster than character string. So we know that. So this is the technique SAP HANA also used. SAP HANA what did? Converted all the characters into a numeric. But how? How numeric value got converted? So I'll show you how they read data from the database in a row store without any index. I'll show you how SAP HANA retrieves data even faster than without index. With index, faster than with index. In traditional database, we have indexes, isn't it? So, but in HANA DB, we don't have indexes. But still, it is faster than traditional approach. How? You should know that. So, I'll show you that. So, for compression purpose, I have just created a hypothetical data, and I'll show you how name, location, and gender gets compressed, and uh, what are the techniques, what is dictionary vector, what is attribute vectors, which actually HANA DB creates. when compression or storage comes into picture. So as I've mentioned, HANA DB provides a series of compression technique that can be used data in a column store, both in main memory or in a persistent. It means in a database, like physical medium. So this compression technique are based on dictionary encoding. So what is dictionary encoding? This is the powerful encoding mechanism what SAP HANA uses. So I'll show you. So and dictionary encoding where the column contents are stored as a encoded integer. As I said, HANA stores all the characters value, converts it into integer format because CPU loves processing integer values rather than character values. Yes, correct. So I'll show you that. apart from that uh, Apart from that, I'll show you what is partitioning. As I said, HANA supports only horizontal partitioning. So, and different partitioning techniques used like round robin and all. So, I'll show you what is round robin partitioning process, everything. So, uh, for today, I think I have discussed it. After break, I'll discuss. After short break, I'll discuss about everything which I shared right now. I'll discuss about compression technique. I'll discuss about compression technique. I'll show you I'll show you data layout in main memory. What is data layout in main memory? Actual data layout. I'll show you compression and I'll show you partitioning. So let's meet again after break. By the time, I would request you to revise it again. So let's talk about what we have discussed. So we have discussed today, we have discussed about software components of SAP HANA. We have seen what are the software components of SAP HANA, like that was like SAP HANA Studio, SAP HANA Client, and SAP HANA Database. We have talked about in-memory technology. We have I have to show you data layout in main memory, how data actually gets stored in a column format, how data gets converted into integer and stores in a column, and because of that, how it improves accessing or processing logic. So, and I'll show you data compression technique in detail, and I'll again show you how data accessed without index. What technology actually SAP HANA uses when we don't have index, but still it's a faster than the traditional database. So guys, uh, I'll come back and I'll show you um, all these things in more detail. So by the time, if you have not gone through with my previous session, I would request to go through with it. Then you will be able to understand column store in actual. By the time, thank you very much for joining my session. And in my next topic, I'll show you practically, as I said, how data converted into different format, different compression techniques, lot of compression techniques. I'll discuss one by one. By the time, I would request, please go through with my previous slide, previous session, which link has been shared with all of you. Thank you guys. Have a nice day.